Hello, children. Welcome to Right Tuition Classes. We are going to start with the second chapter of ninth standard geometry. The chapter's name is Parallel Lines. Parallel Lines. A very simple chapter, children, but at the same time, very important. With this chapter, the main thing is you understand what is ninth standard geometry, what is logical thinking is. So we are going to develop the logical thinking which is needed throughout, for ninth standard from this chapter. So better be attentive, children. The first thing, you should know what you mean by coplanar line. What do you mean by coplanar line? What do you mean by coplanar lines, children? Lines which line the same plane. What do you mean by coplanar lines, children? Lines which line the same plane. You know what is a plane, okay? A plane is a flat surface which goes on extending. So like this screen itself is a plane, it keeps on extending. So all the line, what I draw in this, okay, I draw one line, okay, I draw another line, I draw another line. All these lines, when I call it as a line, of course, I'm going to put the arrowheads also. When I call it as a line, I put arrowheads, okay, I put arrowheads. This arrowheads tells you it goes on extending, okay. Now this lines, they line the same plane, bachelo. ये लाइन क्या है? सब लाइन एक ही प्लेन में, तो ऐसे लाइन को क्या बोलते हैं बेटा? कोप्लेनर लाइन. कोप्लेनर लाइंस. आर यू गेटिंग मी चिल्ड्रन? तो अभी मैं खाली इस पे coplanar lines बता रहा हूँ. Coplanar, what do you mean by coplanar lines? Okay, we are not going ahead of coplanar lines. What is coplanar lines? We understood. Okay, lines which line the same plane. Lines which line the same plane. I'll write here lines which line the same plane are called coplanar lines. Okay, children. So anyhow, just for the sake of your understanding, lines which lie in the same plane, which lie in the same plane are called coplanar lines. Which lie in the same plane are called coplanar lines. Coplanar lines. I hope people can understand this, children. Now, the next, please have a look here. The next term, what I'm going to teach you is, okay, I'm coming to the next term, children. What do you mean by a transversal? What do you mean by a transversal? What do you mean by a transversal? Okay, please have a look here. What do you mean by a transversal? Like, children, just now I taught you coplanar lines. So I better draw some coplanar lines for you. 1, 2, 3, all these are lines, okay? All these are lines. Now look at this line, children, which I'm drawing now. Okay, the red line. The red line which I'm drawing, don't you agree? It intersects this given line. All these are lines, okay, children? Remember, even if I don't put arrowheads here, try to understand these are lines, okay? This arrowhead tells you they go on extending. Confirms you these are lines, okay? So look at the red line, children. The red line intersects these coplanar lines at distinct points. देखो, ये point में intersect कर रहा है, ये point में intersect कर रहा है बेटा, ये point में intersect कर रहा है. तीनों अलग-अलग point है. इसके लिए this red line is a transversal of these three coplanar lines, okay? Another example you can see here, children. Suppose I draw here one line, okay? Another line, this are, okay, I draw this, another line I drawn, children, okay? These are lines, okay? These lines, when you look at it, children, when you look at these lines, they are intersecting, no doubt, they're coplanar lines. They are coplanar lines. But look at the red line, which I want to show you here. The red line, which I'm going to show you here, it is intersecting them at the same point. You can see here, the red line, which I want to show you, is intersecting them at the same point. So such a line, okay? Can I call it as a transversal, children? No. क्योंकि ये red line क्या कर रहा है? दोनों coplanar lines को एक ही point में intersect कर रहा है. इसके लिए red line क्या transversal नहीं है. Whereas here, the red line is intersecting the three coplanar lines at distinct points. Okay? Red line is intersecting them at अलग-अलग points. Okay? इसके लिए red line को क्या बोलूँगा इधर? Transversal. Either red line is not a transversal. This is not a transversal, not a transversal. Okay? Whereas here, children, the red line can be called as a, in this case, in the first figure, you can see here, Here the red line is a transversal. This is a transversal. I hope everybody understood now. Okay, what do you mean by transversal? Pella, I told you what do you mean by coplanar lines. Lines which lie in the same plane are called coplanar lines. Then I'm teaching you what is a transversal. Transversal exists for coplanar lines. Okay, transversal coplanar lines के लिए रहता है. Transversal is a line which intersects two or more coplanar lines at distinct points. Transversal is a line which intersects two or more coplanar lines at distinct points. Are you getting me, children? Now we go one step ahead, children. Again, let's see what do you mean by, okay, just here. Like coplanar lines are intersected by two coplanar lines are intersected by a transversal. Two coplanar lines are intersected by a transversal. ये दो coplanar lines है. Please have a look here. These two are coplanar lines. Okay, these coplanar lines are intersected. They are coplanar lines. These red lines what I have drawn, they are coplanar lines. Okay, these coplanar lines are intersected by a transversal. These coplanar lines are intersected by a transversal. You can see this transversal, children. The transversal intersects them at distinct points. A transversal intersect कर रहा है अलग-अलग point में. Got it? इसके लिए transversal है. So when a transversal intersects coplanar lines, 8 angles are formed. Okay, 8 angles बनते हैं. जैसा angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8. 8 angles are formed. You can see here. So remember, when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, 8 angles are formed. These 8 angles may some pair of angles to special name दिया है. Pair of angles have been given special name. Pair of angles, pair मतलब जोड़ी. Pair of angles are given special name. Pair of angles are given special name. Now, what are this special name, children? I'm telling you, pair of angles are given special name. This special name क्या है? Okay, जैसा first, what do you mean by this special name? Please here, try to understand. This pair of angles are given special name. What do you mean by this special name? When I say pair of angles are given special name, what does it mean? Okay, means please have a look here. जोड़ी angles का जोड़ी को अलग-अलग नाम दिया. जैसे एक पहला है alternate angles. Now, what do you mean by alternate angles? Children, what do you mean by alternate angles? Try to understand what do you mean by alternate angles. समझो please, okay? मैं बताने वाला हूँ इसमें alternate angles किसको बोलते हैं, okay? So look here, children. What do you mean by alternate angles, okay? So let's see here. Look at these angles, okay? This angle, which I'm going to mark. Can you see a Z formation? Can you see this? Z formation. Can you see this Z formation, children? Okay, Z जैसा दिखता है, black letter Z जैसा दिखता है. Okay, और याद रखो बेटा, ये जो angles in a Z है, जो angles in a Z है ऐसा, these angles are called alternate angles. ये सीधा Z है, बेटा ये उल्टा Z है. Angles in a Z are always called as alternate angles. तो आपको इधर Z दिख रहा है, एक black color का Z, उसमें angle 4 and angle 6 बना है. Now, angles in a Z are called alternate angles. So don't agree, एक जोड़ी है angle 4 and angle 6, they are alternate angles, okay? और दूसरा एक जोड़ी आप देख सकते हो बेटा, ये I'll just show it to you by green color, okay? Now, ulta Z. Can you look at this ulta Z? A green color Z formation, can you see here? This green color Z formation, can you see, children? This green color, sorry. These green color angles, can you see these green color angles, children? These green color angles are nothing but, these green color angles are nothing but alternate angles. These green color angles, can you see these green color angles, children? Please have a look here. Can you see these green color angles? They are nothing but alternate angles. So angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate angles. So please see here, children, once again, I'm just showing it to you. Angle 3 and angle, just have a look at this angle, what I'm trying to show you, okay? Can you see 3 and 5? These are angles in a Z, ulta Z. These angles in a Z are alternate angles. So remember, children, when angle 4 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 5. So when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, there are totally two pairs of alternate angles formed. जब भी ट्रांसवर्सल इंटरसेक्ट करता है टू कोप्लेनर लाइंस को, दो जोड़ी alternate angles का बन रहा है, दो जोड़ी alternate angles का बन रहा है. I hope you understand me here. Okay. In the same way, we go to the next, children. When a transversal intersects, two coplanar lines, okay, just have a look here. This is one line, children. This is another line, children. These lines are intersected by a transversal, children. Now, look at the angles which I'm going to mark, okay? Only those angles. Please try to understand. This is a transversal. This transversal intersects two coplanar lines. ये दो coplanar lines को intersect कर रहा है. तो अभी मुझे क्या दिखाना है बेटा? What do you mean by corresponding angles? What do you mean by corresponding angles? What do you mean by corresponding angles? Children, a very simple one. I would like people to concentrate here. See here, those 8 angles are formed. Those 8 angles में एक जोड़ी को corresponding angles भी बोलते हैं. लेकिन 4 जोड़ी मिलेगा आपको. corresponding angles से कितना जोड़ी मिलेगा बेटा? आपको 4 जोड़ी मिलेगा. Now, which are those corresponding angles? Try to understand. Look at this angle. देखो बेटा, ये angle 1. Can you see this angle 1, children? What I have written? ये angle 1, okay? ये angle 1. उसके बाद immediately जो है उसको छोड़ो. Angle 2. Can you see this? Angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding angles. वैसे 3. 3 को देखो बेटा. 3 के बाद immediately जो है बाजू वाले को छोड़ो. ये चौथा, third and fourth are corresponding angles. So remember, angle 1 and angle 2 is one pair of corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 4 is another pair of corresponding angles. Okay. In the same way, इधर 5 angle 5, okay, उसका immediately जो उसको छोड़ो बेटा. 6 को देखो. 5 and 6 are corresponding angles. 5 and 6 are corresponding angles. वैसे ही बेटा, just have a look at this. 7, angle 7, और उसके बाद 7 के बाद जो angle उसको छोड़ो. 8, 7 and 8 are corresponding angles. Are you getting me, children? Please have a look here. Once again, I just show you. Everybody in the class is going to be attentive here. This is a transversal intersecting two coplanar lines. So what do you mean by corresponding angles? What do you mean by corresponding angles? So I see, just have a look at angle 1. Angle 1 के बाद immediately जो आता है 3, उसको छोड़ो, बाजू वाले को छोड़ो. तीसरे को देखो. Angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding angles. In the same way, children, just have a look at this. Angle 3. Can you see this marking of red color marking? Angle 3. Then comes 2. Forget it. 3 and 4 are corresponding angles. 3 and 4 are corresponding angles. Got it? So the black angles are corresponding angles. The red angles are corresponding angles. In the same way, children, just have a look at this pink angles. Okay. Pink angles. Angle 3 and angle 6. They are corresponding angles. Angle 5 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. 5 and 6 are corresponding angles, okay? In the same way, this yellow color angles, okay? Angle 7 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Angle 7 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. So remember, children, when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, totally 4 pairs of corresponding angles are formed. 4 pairs of corresponding angles are formed. When a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, always remember, children, 4 pairs of corresponding angles are formed. पहले हमने क्या सीखा था? When a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, 2 pairs of alternate angles are formed. But when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, 4 pairs of corresponding angles are formed. Are you getting me, children? Now, we just go ahead, okay? We go to the next, children. We go to the next. What do you mean by? We are going to see what do you mean by interior angles. What do you mean by interior angles, okay? So listen here, children. I'm going to change this 1 minute, children. Clear it. And now, what do you mean by interior angles, okay? Suppose I draw two coplanar lines. I just use the word coplanar lines. These are 2 coplanar lines cut by transversal. Cut by a transversal. These are coplanar lines, children. These coplanar lines are cut by a transversal. Okay, you can see here these lines are coplanar lines, and you can see the transversal intersecting them at two distinct points. Okay, now what do you mean by interior angles? What do you mean by interior angles? What do you mean by interior angles, children? What do you mean by interior angles? Okay, ये इंटीरियर एंगल्स का मतलब क्या है? चिल्ड्रन समझना है आपने को इंटीरियर एंगल्स का मतलब क्या है? तो कितना सिंपल है, याद रखो बेटा, आपका लेटर सी, ये लेटर सी है, सी में दो एंगल्स है, ये एंगल्स इंटीरियर एंगल्स है। वैसे ही बेटा जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट दिस उल्टा सी में दो एंगल्स है, करेक्ट, दोनों एंगल्स इंटीरियर एंगल्स है। तो वैसे ही बेटा आप इधर ये पिक्चर में भी आप सी के लिए ढूंढ सकते हो बेटा। जैसा प्लीज हम लुक हियर, ये पिक्चर में सी किधर है? कैन यू सी वन सी फॉर्मेशन? Got it? This angles, angle 1 and angle 2. Don't you agree? These are angles in a C. So angle 1 and angle 2 are interior angles. Can you see this one pair of interior angles? In the same way, can you see an ulta C here? Ulta C here, children. This angle 3 and angle 4. Got it? They're formed in a ulta C. They are also interior angles. Angle 3 and angle 4 are also interior angles. So when a transversal intersects, two coplanar lines, two pairs of interior angles are formed. Are you getting me here? So remember, children, when a transversal intersects, when a transversal intersects, got it? Two coplanar lines. I'll just write it here like a note. Try to understand this, okay? They can always ask you. Remember, when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines. You know what do you mean by coplanar lines, children? Coplanar lines means they lie in the, when the transversal intersects two coplanar lines. Okay, you can see here two pairs of alternate angles are formed. You can see, children, two pairs of, when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, two pairs of alternate angles are formed. Alternate pair of angles are formed. In the same way, when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, remember, children, four pairs of corresponding angles are formed. Four pairs of corresponding angles are formed. And when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, remember, children, okay, two pairs of interior angles are formed. 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 Okay, so please keep in your mind, children, very simple. When a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, two pairs of alternate angles are formed. Four pairs of corresponding angles are formed. Two pairs of interior angles are formed. अब याद रखो हमेशा, ऑल्टरनेट एंगल्स कभी बनते हैं, ऑल्टरनेट एंगल्स कभी बनते हैं बेटा, जब एक ट्रांसवर्सल दो कोप्लेनर लाइंस को इंटरसेक्ट करेगा। करस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स कभी बनते हैं जब एक ट्रांसवर्सल दो कोप्लेनर लाइंस को इंटरसेक्ट करेगा। इंटीरियर एंगल्स कभी बनते हैं बेटा, जब एक ट्रांसवर्सल दो कोप्लेनर लाइंस को इंटरसेक्ट करेगा। याद रखिए फिर से स्टार्टिंग से, पहला मैंने व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय कोप्लेनर लाइन सिखाया, बाद में मैंने क्या सिखाया बेटा, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय transversal. Then we saw totally when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines, 8 pairs of angles are formed. 8 pairs of angles are formed. 8 pairs में जोड़ी आते हैं, स्पेशल जोड़ी को स्पेशल नेम दिया गया है, जैसे alternate pair. क्या है alternate pair हमने देखा, got it? These are two pairs of alternate angles are formed. 4 pairs of corresponding angles of form. हमने देखा corresponding angles क्या है, कौन सा जोड़ी को corresponding angles बोलते हैं. 4 pairs of corresponding angles of form और 2 pairs of interior angles of form. तो अभी से word alternate आया तो आपके दिमाग में एक ही चीज आनी चाहिए. Alternate angles of form when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines. Corresponding angles of form when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines. Interior angles of form when a transversal intersects two coplanar lines. I hope people are getting me here, children. Okay, we go to the next, children. Then we are going to start with some simple sums. I'm going to show you, children, how to, because this is what is going to develop you. Okay, try to understand, children. अगर मैंने जो सिखाया अभी आप बराबर ध्यान देंगे, अभी आपका ज्योमेट्री जस्ट बिल्डअप हो रहा है.